guys, I'm in Giles's cupboard for no reason other than I like being in cupboards. And what I've done is I've put a load of fonts up outside on posters on different doors outside of this room so that Giles can pick his way to the kitchen to make me a cup of tea if he chooses the right fonts. Okay, and we're going to be looking at the denotation and connotation of different fonts to see if he can do that. Alright, here we go anyway. Giles, wakey wakey.
Oh.
We're going to look up some fonts.
You've been in my cupboard again, Dave?
Yes, sorry about that.
I told you about that last time. What's going on?
I have to start paying rent. Yeah, so basically you've got to check out the denotation and connotation of these fonts so that you can make me a cup of tea. I don't know how that works, but it works.
Right, denotation is what you see, face value. Connotation is the meaning within the kind of text, the subtext, as it were.
Excellent. All right, cool.
And so this, looking at this, denotes, it's I want to say bland. It's quite straightforward, but quite authoritative, quite big, chunky letters. So to me, it's connotating that's an order almost. That's please come in.
It's like a command almost, because it's so severe and it has this sort of authoritative feel about it.
There's not really, I haven't got room to give in that as kind of question. So
alright, let's go through this one.
Go through this one. Immediately come out here. This one denotes. To me, it looks a bit dark. Kind of, there's no uniform to the letters. They look quite like you find them in a crypt or something like that.
And not even like connecting there with the O.
Not connecting. So yeah, it connotes to me that says to me that there's you get the impression there's something lurking in there. I don't really fancy that. There's
sort of dark and sinister side of it, decaying, decrepit. Yeah.
Definitely, yeah. I'm not up for that.
Not up for that one. Okay, what's this one? We've got another door here. It says "Please come in."
So this is much more elegant. The letters, what did you say about the descenders?
Well, you've got a really long descender here and a really long ascender here. It's very loopy and it looks like handwriting. So I'd say that was the denotation of it.
The connotation, that looks quite friendly to me, approachable, quite, but yet quite formal.
And quite posh, maybe.
Yeah, quite posh.
Too posh for you?
Too posh for me.
All right.
I don't fit in those sort of places.
What have we got here? Okay, another door. Another text.
Come in again. This says, to me, denotes what we're seeing. We're seeing a lot of squiggles, almost playful. Seeing the swirly little pattern on the eye. Yeah,
this is another thing as well. This is a serif font because it's got like the foot here and the sort of hat up here, if you want to call it there. But so it's got these points which make it a serif font instead of a sans serif.
So that's the denotation connotes. It's quite playful, partyish sometimes. It looks a bit too not up my street.
It's not up your street. It's kind of fun, childish, isn't it? Really.
Yeah.
All right, cool, fair enough. All right, we got another one here, which is that's a little bit different to the other ones we've seen.
Same again. Same. Please come in. Very gothic, almost. Scary, is it? The denotation, what we're seeing,
So we're seeing, like with this S, we've got like a line through that there. You've got bits coming off the text here, which is like just coming down, and it's quite severe in places, the text.
And that, to me, the connotations of this, as you look down here, you can see it looks like blood dripping. It's very gothic-y. Looks a bit scary, not really up my street either, not when I've just woken up.
So some kind of font you'd use in a horror film for vampires or something?
Yeah, that kind of thing. This one over here, what we've got, denotation we've got, is very, I'd class that as an oriental. It looks like, it's not the text like we've seen previously with, these almost look like they're made up shapes, don't they? They're placed together.
So Asian-y, oriental feel, Chinese.
Yeah.
Yeah. So takeaway.
Yeah, you've got the menu.
You got the wallet. Alright, we've got another door here and it says please come in.
So denotation, so what we're seeing here is quite, again, it's almost playful, like the handwriting's quite relaxed.
It's actually the text used for G unit.
So this text here, what we've just said, the connotations kind of flip it straight on its head because it's used for G unit, which we've got gangster status, I guess.
So you might have thought they used like a more authoritative text or something like that, but they've actually used this kind of elegant, classy text. I think that's what they're going for. They're thinking, they want to show some class, some style. All right, cool.
So yeah, I've got class and style.
Go through this door.
Here,
All right, next door. Please come in.
what have we got? We've got the letters are almost similar to the bamboo kind of ones. They're not joined up. You can see straight away the spaces between them. There's nothing like we saw in the previous ones with the handwriting.
And you've got, it's kind of, yeah, you've got some cut-offs here, and it's not quite serif or sans serif, so it looks kind of Arabic, and that's the kind of connotations you get from that.
Yeah,
it's kind of Arabic, Middle Eastern, and it's used for Aladdin, the Disney Aladdin.
Okay.
So that's the kind of font used there.
And then here, this is, denotation. What we see, we've got big, bold letters. They're scored through here, and this, the connotations of this score imply to me that something's fast is happening. There's speed involved. They look quite futuristic. These letters. I mean, they're quite a stark contrast to what we've seen before. So that implies to me sci-fi, speed.
Yeah.
Quite chunky.
I think for the connotations, for me, it's like a laser's been shot through there. And this is the font that was used for Blade Runner. So the sci-fi movie Blade Runner. It's quite a famous font.
So this is, again, we've all seen that. That to me is fairground, carnival, almost westerny as well. There's a lot going on in the text. It's got the shadows underneath. It's got scores within the letters.
Yeah, it's got this kind of stroke, as you'd say in Photoshop, this stroke around the edge to highlight it, pull it out from the background. And it's almost split in half there with the dark and light. So yeah.
It looks like there's two levels to it, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's so much more three-dimensional than the other ones.
But I don't like that.
You don't like it? Not a fan of fairgrounds or anything like that?
Fairgrounds are fun, no.
Okay, what do you think of this font?
This to me is what we're seeing. We're seeing quite small letters, quite chunky letters, but with sharp kind of lines through them here and here, and then even through the A there. I mean, the angles they've got are very distinct.
Yeah.
It's speaking to me as if the connotations of that are it's quite quiet, I think, but it's very forceful in a way. I get that from it.
Quite quiet but forceful. Okay, that's the font used in The Godfather, for the Godfather movies.
So I guess, yeah, it's going to be quite...
So you don't want to go through that door, you don't want to mess with that.
Don't mess with that.
Alright, this is totally different to what we've seen before. This is, what would you say? What's the denotation here?
What we're seeing the letters within what looks to me like Christmas trees or pine trees, within the text. The connotations of that, I mean, you can't read a lot into the text itself because it's so separate.
It's almost like Comic Sans a little bit, like kind of playful a little bit, slightly, but not over the top.
I think the connotations are whatever the image behind the letter is, that's going to draw your eyes, and you're going to associate that with the letter type thing. So
yeah,
you'd imagine seeing that at Santa's Grotto or something like that, those kind of places.
Sure, and Christmas is over.
Thank God for that. What we've got here?
What we've got here, two different fonts, but quite similar in a certain way, I think.
We've got, on this one, we've got big, bold text, and there's obviously the flames coming up here. It suggests to me that there's some sort of immediate danger. But then this eye is quite interesting, the way they've dotted that as like a star. It's quite
that's
different.
kind of out of place almost.
Yeah.
It's kind of random. Okay, and then we've got, so the almost similar, this is the picture almost within the text, which is different to the Christmas tree thing that we had going on, where the image, the text was inside an image.
Isn't it?
Yeah, and then we've got an image outside the text here, which is flaming, almost.
This to me suggests, I don't know, there's the speed coming off this. There's the letters are still chunky, but they imply to me something fast is happening. I mean, you imagine seeing that on a car film, something like that.
Yeah, kind of like an afterburner sort of effect. Okay, what's the last one here? I think this is probably the last one, so you have to go through this door.
Well, this one looks to me very straight down the line. You know, it says exactly what it is.
It's not too thick and it's not too thin, is it?
No.
And it's kind of it's a sans serif, so it means there's no serif, there's no sort of foots on it or anything like that. So it's quite simple.
It looks informative. You know, that looks like, whereas the other ones have you've all been able to read quite a lot into them, there's almost limited connotation on this, which is in itself tells you that it's going to be used to give out information.
To give out information. Well, interestingly, Helvetica, the font, is used in New York subways and all types of signage, and other, you know, like companies use the font as well.
So it's purely for informative text.
Yeah.
Let's see if I can inform what's going on there. Okay, I'm just going to make some lunch now, so you've seen my crib. Get on the house on TV.